For semi-finals, let's introduce our players, because spawning down to the bottom right corner of the map we have our first player out from Axiom Acer, ladies and gentlemen. It's Ryung. And in the upper left hand corner, the red Zerg player representing Team Liquid. It's Rhett. And you know, Rhett has been on top of his game lately. He has been playing fantastically. You know, he made it through his WCS group. He did. He looked very convincing there. In WCS, he advanced over. He advanced over Violet, right? Advanced over Violet, and he advanced alongside Marine Lord. And I think it was Courage that were playing that group, or was it Mystery? I think it was Mystery, the Chinese Protoss player. Either way, it was. He's been looking on form lately. He's been looking better than he has in a long time, honestly. And WCS round of 16 is one hell of a placing already. So he's going to be off to Canada in the next couple of weeks. Next weekend he will be at the Dutch StarCraft League offline finals as well. And I think the final group for that takes place tonight to decide the final two players who will be going to play in Amsterdam. So that's all very exciting too. So that's another opportunity for Rhett to take home a title. I don't think he's actually won a DSCL. I remember back in the first DSCL Open he did manage to place second, just slightly behind Horston. That was a big win for Horston back then. And I don't think he actually has been able to win a DSCL. I think he won the DSCL Invitational earlier this year, and I think he looked quite convincing while doing that as well. So yeah, Ryung is having a good year. Rhett is having a good year. Ryung over here is our Terran player, opening with Command Center first here on Coda, our first map of the potential 7 we could see here today. And no real surprise to see Coda coming in as the first map. A very standard map, no real surprises from either side. A lot of players like this map. It's very balanced for most matchups. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how these guys want to play this out. And you know, we don't expect to see Inferno Pools or Expedition Lost as one of the first maps. You know, they're maps which are generally favoured by certain races and certain positions and so on. So generally we don't see them being used early, but we see them used later on when you know, someone comes out to maybe snipe someone into their pick of map, and it can make things very interesting. But again, Coda, a very standard map to start things off. I mean, he's kind of the new overgrowth of the map pool, alongside Echo is another map which has been pretty popular in the initial couple of maps here that we see picked in the SE2ITL matches. Just a couple of overlords moving across the map for both players in slightly different direction. Not for both players. Well, my head's not in the game today. I've been I wasn't actually expecting to cast today, but when I woke up, I saw the message that the match was taking place today. So my head's not really in the game. I do apologise. I was out on my final university drinking session last night, so I'm not completely with it. Of course, both players don't have overlords, just Rhett does. He's just spreading these, getting these ready to scout a little bit later in the game. Ryung very much set up defensively at home. I mean, again, he opens CC first. He's getting that extra little edge in economy. He's going straight into Reactor Helliancy in a few moments' times, and we'll just keep an eye to see what will be following this up. A couple of queens at the front here for Rhett, and again, they're just going to be slowly pushing that creep spread out onto the map. He did mine. Oh no, he didn't take gas. I thought he'd taken gas, but he hasn't actually. So he's just going to start taking his gas now, and it's just a very standard gas that's opening. 4 queens. Again, really great for pushing creep out, and just generally being very defensive, and again focusing on his own economy a lot early on in this game. Ryung is getting completely walled off right now. You know, he's completely blind to his opponent. He's seen nothing. He has not left his base just yet, and so he doesn't know whether Rhett has speed. So Ryung's just walling off in preparation for a potential run by some kind of mass Zergman play. A nice little move there to load the SCV into the bunker and pop it out on the correct side of the wall without having to lower a depot. So all well and good here for Ryung. I mean, third CC on the way up, second gas, starport, so we expect to see that Banshee play coming out in a few moments' time. We see Rhett is going to sacrifice this first overlord in towards his opponent's main base, and really just wants to kind of see what's going on. He sees the timing of that third CC, which is great. I mean, already that's good information for him, and seeing these couple of Marines out as well. I mean, he hasn't seen a Reaper, so he will be expecting Marines at least, but you know, he'll probably have a pretty good idea now as to what this opening was. Doesn't see the starport, which is perhaps the most important thing that he was looking for. But did he see the second gas? No, not quite. So he was very close to seeing the second gas, but didn't quite get that information. So he knows it's a third CC, so he knows at least if there is aggression on his way, it's not going to be the fastest form of aggression, as we do see an armory coming down, and there's a Viking on the way. So I mean, Ryung is going to commit to something aggressive here. He's going to go for some form of hellbat timing, but Red has that little bit of extra time to get set up here to add on a few more drones, secure his third base. His creeps starting to be pushed out onto the map, and it's just moving out here. And again, Red just going to start saturating this third base right now. 1-1 upgrades on the way. A few lings coming in. We saw the Baneling Nest just finish up a few moments ago. And in general, Red is, again, just setting up nice and ready to deal with anything now. Again, he seems to have his timings on point, because just as this Hellbat attack is about to come in, we see the Zerglings being made. It looks as though he's going to be more than prepared to be able to deal with this. Like to see a few of those lings already morphing into Banelings. Again, he's a little bit blind right now. I suppose he might just see these Hellions, and again, there's always that threat of Hellbats even after that third CC. Red is a little bit supply blocked. That Viking is on a hunt and has already found a single overload, so if not now, I don't know when better a time to actually morph in a couple of bins if you want to morph them in. But he's still just sending a few lings over to the right hand side, and you know, honestly, Ryung's not really committing to this just yet. We've got a first Banshee on the map, moving around somewhere. Where is it? It's actually not moving around anyway, it's actually just staying in the main base, so he's actually just hiding this. A run by from Rhett is going to attempt to, well, he could try go up into the natural, but he's not going to achieve too much if he does. He's just going to come over to the third base, sees that hasn't landed yet. He sees 4 more Hellions, and if he can figure out that that's not the original 4 Hellions, then he should be able to start thinking, well, that's a lot of Hellions, and A, I might be in trouble, and B, this probably isn't going to be a bio play out of him, and it isn't bio, it is mech on the way. And coming in over here, he does see those extra Hellions, so now you should know for sure, right, this is a lot of Hellions out on the map, and let's see how this goes. We have this couple of Queens going to fight against these Hellions, and nice damage done. I mean, the less health these Hellions have, the less health they're going to have as Hellbats, and the easier they're going to be to deal with. But Red's fairly well prepared. He's actually moving a few units in towards the main base, thinking there's a potential for a drop here. The creep spread's great though, and with this creep spread he's able to actually retreat the Queens at least away from the Hellbats. He might still lose it to the Banshee. In fact, the Queens are going to get away. And Red has a lot of time to prepare for this. You know, he's got a lot of time to think about how exactly he's going to deal with this incoming attack. It's a lot of Hellbats here, a lot of Banelings being morphed in though, and the Queens are kind of what Red really needs to keep alive right now as the Lings come in and the Banelings to help out. The Hellbats all going down rather quickly. Again, it's going to be these Banshees in the sky which are the real issue for Red. That's what he really has to find a way to deal with right now, because he doesn't really seem to have any anti-air up. He's got a Spire on the way, but as it stands, he's kind of struggling. But he has turned away the majority of the Hellbats, and by turning away the Hellbats, at least he's going to keep the majority of his workers alive. He's going to grab a couple of these Hellbats before they manage to morph in and begin to deal with them, and the Queens are going to start cleaning out these Banshees as well. So it looks as though Ret is being able to turn this away. He's got money in the bank now to make some Mutalisks as well and to begin transitioning. And he only lost 6 workers, so not that bad. I mean, that was a big attack from Ryung. He threw a lot into that, a lot of his early Hellbats, and he doesn't really have too much out on the map right now to deal with this counter-attack. In fact, he's got absolutely nothing over here. Okay, there's a few Hellions coming in, and these Zerglings, would have been better to stay on that whole position. They will, a few of them actually managed to make it out though, so at least not all lost for nothing. Didn't actually kill a worker there, did he? Maybe one worker, but not more than that. As these Lings just coming over to this right hand side, and they're just going to sit back for now then. And again, you know, Ret at this point has realised this is mech play I am up against, +1 missile attacks on the way. That Roach Swarm's been placed down. The first Roaches are already out onto the map with Roach speed over halfway done, so we're in a situation here where Ret knows what he's playing against. He's dealt with the early game. He's now got Mutalisks out to begin. You know, they're not really out to chase down Hellions, but that's a nice thing they can do. It gives him a bit of map control, just allows him to put a bit of pressure on. Now this is a fair amount of Mutalisks, and he loses one here fairly quickly, so considering it's mech, sometimes we see players not really commit into actually making the Mutalisks once they realise it's mech, because as we just saw there, it's quite easy for, you know, Ryung to shut down, and 1-4 coming into the main base will be more than enough to turn these Mutas away. We'll grab a Tech Lab. So again, I mean, it's not all for nothing. He is getting a little bit of damage done. Doesn't want to lose another one though. Sometimes we see just 3 Mutalisks or so as a way to sort of deal with a few Banshees which are harassing. But again, Ret commits into this a little bit. He finds himself a Tech Lab, and I'd say it's been worthwhile so far. I mean, he's making sure to keep Ryung back, and right now Ryung is actually going straight into siege tank production, so he's made a lot of fours initially deal for the mutas, and we might see him try and move across the map if he would like. I mean, we do sometimes see these kind of hell-bad 4 timings, but seeing some tanks in production would suggest he's more likely to just kind of sit back for a while here. Rep more or less maxed out at this point, though, going to start moving across the map himself. He's going to find a few Hellions to this right-hand side, and these Hellions are actually in a little spot of trouble, and Lings are going to keep chasing them and will actually get the kill on those. A lot of roaches here, but with tanks sieged up and banshees in the sky, it's going to be very tough to break this position. Red's going to try anyway, though. He kills that 4th CC to begin with. He's going to keep marching forwards here. He realizes, though, I think, that he just cannot make this happen, and he immediately backs out. And not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, he trades away a bit of supply. He's actually adding on drones behind this. His 4th base is set up. A little bit scary that his opponent's going to try and start coming across the map, but can Ryung really afford to move forwards into this number of roaches? Perhaps not. We see that Infestation Pit and Hydra's Den being started up alongside 2 Chief and Red. A lot of these roaches are very, very damaged. We don't see burrows, so they're not going to be able to regen super quick, and a few more will go down on the way out. Ret needs to find a way to make a few more units here before this army does cross the other side of the map. This counter-attack to the left-hand side is looking promising, though. I mean, not really too many units left at home for Ryung, and in fact the ones that are left behind are starting to move across here, so this is kind of a perfect timing for Ret to come in with some form of counter-attack, try and get something done, but it looks as though Ryung has realised what's on. He's got a sensor tower, so he's going to siege up these tanks, and these roaches not going to be able to do too much as Ryung's army is starting to approach the front door of Ret, and Ret, what is he going to make? I mean, he's got roaches, he's got some hydras. He's lost a bunch of drones though as well, and that's not ideal. I assume some form of Hellion run by, and well, does he have enough to just hold on right now? I'm not too sure if he can attack into these siege tanks right at this point in time, and Ryung moving across the map, looking as though he's in a pretty good position to perhaps take game number 1. Ret has to find a way to kill off this army, and the problem is now that his counterattack's been dealt with, reinforcements are just going to keep streaming across the map, and here we go, Ret trying to close the distance to these tanks, but he's just not quite able to do it, and Ryung has way too much here. Ret's army is melting, GG is called, and Ryung takes game number 1, and congratulations to him. Axiom Acer go 1-0 up in the series.